Welcome back to the news at 10. Ahead of the November 2019 governorship election in Kogi State, Governor Yahya Bello has declared his intent to contest for a second term. Governor Bello made his intention known at the banquet hall of the Government House, Lokoja, during the inauguration of the Kogi State Assembly Service Commission. He explained that he is seeking re-election in order to consolidate on his achievements recorded in the last 3 years. The governor told stakeholders that his declaration was born out of pressure from elders and members of his party, noting that he's held consultations with the leadership of the All Progressives Congress. The chairman of the Kaduna State Peace Commission, Bishop Josiah Idowu Ferdon, is concerned that 8 out of 23 local government areas in Kaduna State are facing severe security challenges. These range from kidnapping and rural armed banditry to robbery, cattle rustling, and other related crimes. The affected local governments include Beningwari, Chikun, Giwa, Igabi, Kachia, Kajuru, Kakro, and Kauru. Addressing a press conference in Kaduna on Wednesday, Bishop Ferdon appealed to residents to cooperate with security agencies in a bid to tackle the problem.
The challenges of insecurity in many parts of the state are quite worrisome. This is most prevalent in Birningwari local government area, as well as many parts of Chikun, Giwa, Igabi, Kachia, Kajuru, Kagarko, and Kauru local government areas. We appeal to the people of the state, as well as the security agencies, to join hands to address this unfortunate situation of armed robberies, raiding of villages, kidnapping, rustling of cattle, and other forms of rural crimes.
Community support will go a long way towards containing the menace of banditry and kidnapping across the country, as information from citizens on suspicious characters will help cause the security agencies, or will help their cause, that's to say. Now, this is the view of the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, when he paid a courtesy visit to the Government House in Asaba, Delta State, and he was received by the Deputy Governor.
Effort, civil effort is even very crucial. Apart from the military effort or the police effort, community effort is very important in curtailing or reducing or even eliminating these various security challenges. Kidnapping and other security challenges in other parts of the country will also be checkmated very soon. Intelligence is key, and the people, the first point of contact in terms of intelligence. So we need the masses support, we need the people's support, we need more information to identify all those criminals.
In Nasarawa State, the situation is a bit different, as despite assurances given by the state governor, Tango Al-Makura, that the perpetrators of last Sunday's attack in Akwanga local government area will be fished out, residents, especially women and children, have fled their homes. Our correspondent Halima Gayam reports.
Kochu, quiet and almost deserted. The community is obviously trying to recover from the pain of the terror attack that left at least 17 people dead and several others injured. Residents have been recounting the tragic tale of horror that hit their village during a birthday celebration.
On Sunday night, I had a call that Fulani people attacked my people. And it was my greatest surprise, but I'm not to war with the Fulani people. I don't know why.
Kochu is a settlement of peasant farmers who have not been able to return to work after the incident. The attack is coming on the heels of a recent onslaught by bandits in 3 neighboring villages, all in the same district of Andaha. Though calm has been restored, women and children are forced to flee for fear of a reprisal. Their husbands stay behind to dig the graves ahead of the funeral. Some injured persons, including this man, are still receiving treatment at the General Hospital in Akwanga, with the father of the celebrant, whose case is severe, referred to the Federal Medical Center in Kefi. This widow, Juliana, who went to sell her wares at the settlement, says this is her second encounter. The chairman of the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria refutes claim that the perpetrators are his members, insisting they are criminal elements.
There was not any arrest that was made by any security agents, so the allegation is false.
The governor commiserates with the people and promises to bring perpetrators to book.
This is unacceptable, and we will not leave any stone unturned in ensuring that the culprits are brought to the book.
Both parties are now in disarray and want the government to urgently improve the security atmosphere to prevent further attacks so that they can go about their agricultural activities freely. From Akwanga local government area of Nasarawa State, Halima Gayam, Channels Television News.
Away from security matters, the 2019 budget appears to have taken a step closer to being passed by the National Assembly as both chambers received the reports of their committees on appropriation. The chairman of the committees laid the reports during plenary, signifying that both chambers have completed the most crucial phase of the process in the National Assembly. The National Assembly has, however, adjourned for the Easter holiday to resume on April the 22nd, or the 23rd, I beg your pardon. It's expected that the reports will be considered next week. Let's take a look at some business news now. Here's Kayode Okikiolu.
You First. First Bank.
Thank you, Ijeoma, and you're welcome to Business News. The federal government has made good on its promise with the flotation of a 30-year bond instrument that will attract local and foreign investment for infrastructure and other project financing. The announcement, which was made 2 weeks ago by the finance minister, will materialize next week when the DMO offers 20 billion naira bond maturing by April 2049. The long-dated instrument is part of the 100 billion naira total bond offering being issued by the debt office for the month of April 2019, which includes a new 10-year paper of 40 billion naira and another 40 billion naira reopening of a 5-year bond at 12.75%. And Global Credit Ratings has affirmed the AAA final public long-term credit rating assigned to NSP SPV Power Co. PLC's 8.5 billion naira Series 1 guaranteed green infrastructure bond issue with a stable outlook, while NSP SPV registered a 50 billion naira bond issuance program with the Securities and Exchange Commission in February this year and raised 8.5 billion naira from the capital market. The NSP SPV was incorporated by North-South Power Company Limited as a special purpose vehicle to raise funds from the Nigerian capital market or other international markets by way of debt and other forms of capital to finance various capital projects. And Zenith Bank has announced a higher basic earnings per share of 160 kobo for the first 3 months of 2019, among other line items that drive investor sentiment in the Tier 1 lender. The shares of Zenith Bank was trading higher nearly 0.5% before lunchtime in Lagos on the latest earnings. The bank says its net profit climbed to 50.23 billion naira in 2019 first quarter, even as impairment charges for credit loss rises to a new high of 84 billion naira during the period. Zenith Bank reports group total deposit higher at 3.5 trillion naira, while operating expenses were chopped down to 35.6 billion naira from 41.7 billion naira a year earlier. And elsewhere, Access Bank has released its 2019 first quarter financial statement, showing a group profit jump of 64.37%, or 17.7 billion naira, hitting 41.14 billion naira. The group's profit before tax increased from 20.43 billion naira in Q1 2018 to 45.10 billion naira in Q1 of this year. while the bank's standalone pre-tax profit came in at 33.73 billion naira in the first 3 months of the year. The banking group reports basic earnings per share of 139 kobo during the period under review, even as its total deposit tops 3.4 trillion naira. Let's head over to the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where the stock market maintains its recovery for a second consecutive day in the week, as consumer goods sector bellwethers push the market's main index closer again to 30,000 level. Well, let's find out more details with Chimeze Obiwagu.
Thank you, Kayode, and welcome to the Stock Market Report. Well, positive sentiments continued for a second day in the market as the index closed in the green, up 0.76%. Mind you, it wasn't because of the positive earnings posted today by the big boys in the banking sector. Instead, it was more of speculative trading. Right now, nobody, particularly portfolio investors, are thinking of long-term investment. Rather, they consider short-term participation. However, because the investors see more value in Nestle, they are holding on to it. And that's the reason the consumer goods sector is the major contributor to today's positive close. Well, despite the earnings by Zenith, Access and GT Bank, the banking sector fell in the red. Interestingly, GT Bank got a haircut. The drop on the oil and gas sector was as a result of 3.39% loss by Seplat. In 4,025 deals, investors traded about 216 million shares, valued at 3.2 billion naira. Our traders expect volatility to continue in the market until the fiscal horizon becomes clearer. And that was the Stock Market Report. I'm Chimeze Obiwagu. Back to you, Kayode.
Many thanks, Chimeze. Stock market on Wall Street closed midweek trading session negative across board as losses from healthcare sector overshadows strong earnings. Well, let's find out how the rest of global markets ended the day. Thank you for watching Business News Tonight. I am Kayode Okikiolu. The news at 10 continues with Ijeoma.
You first. First Bank.
All right, now just coming into us is on something to do with security. Nigerian Army authorities in Akure, Ondo State, say troops have apprehended 5 suspected kidnappers known to have been terrorizing locals in the Owo area of the state. The troops made the arrest when they carried out a raid on the kidnappers' hideout following a tip-off that the suspected kidnappers had abducted 9 farmers. 5 hostages were rescued, and some of the suspects who sustained minor injuries are currently undergoing treatment at the 32 Artillery Brigade Medical Center. According to the Army, the suspects will be handed over to the appropriate security agencies at the conclusion of preliminary investigations. And still ahead on the news at 10, we'll check in with our London Bureau for Around the World in 5.